All right, kids, we are back with 15.4, and I got some notes for you. This is going to be an interesting week because we got medium weight to medium heavy, depending on how good you are at power cleans, and the handstand push-up, right? Not a super complicated movement, but a rep range that is kind of disgusting. This week, I actually want to celebrate something, two things. High five Dave Castro with the handstand push-up standard. I love everything about it. I think this is the best metric we have for testing the handstand push-up that I've ever seen. The box from regionals a couple years ago was pretty good. This one is dynamite. If you haven't tested it, wait till you test it. You'll see what I'm talking about. So awesome. And then this week's scaling option. While it may not be gymnastics, at least it is an overhead vertical pushing action, which I dig, right? If we're going to be testing pushing and hip explosion, then let's get some like mechanisms running. So I dig that too with the push press. So let's talk about this workout and things that might be helpful for us. We'll start with the handstand push-up. So I think tip number one is to kip. You gotta kip. That being said, if you don't have good control on the way down, then as you start to fatigue, the crashing to the ground can be hard on the cervical vertebra. We'll talk about in a second. My second idea is that you should kip on the handstand push-ups. And again, that's very similar to the first idea. Get as much out of those legs as you possibly can, and one more time, kipping. And I say it 3 times because it's that effing important. And there are exceptions to that rule, and they are absolutely none. Everybody should kip. We saw Bridges start off with those strict handstand push-ups, and that broke down real fast. You saw all 3 announcers in the games, or in the open announcement, pick him to be the winner, and Panchik delivered with consistent kipping, methodical short breaks. I loved everything about that contest. Well done, Panchik. Great job, Bridges. Both athletes are incredible, but we saw that kip dominate the strict handstand push-up there, and I think that's going to hold true across the board. And then let's move into the safe eccentric. We talked about that lowering phase. Protect your neck, right? It's a lot of times the head hitting the ground, and if you're not maintaining control there, this could get ugly real fast in kind of a paraplegia kind of way. So be diligent about the controlling that descent, not just crashing into the floor, and I advise you to use a mat. On the clean, we are talking about singles, I think, out of the gate. Right? The touch and go and what it does metabolically is not worth the time that it saves you. Drop that bar, don't try to control it to the floor, get back on the bar as quickly as possible. Short rests are going to make a difference, but singles out of the gate, again, short breaks. I say this every single week. Rest is where you're going to waste time. You will not make up that time by going faster on certain parts of the movement. And then get mean, get mean. Here Coach Berger tells us all the time, junkyard dog. And I put up some ideas, right, help you get there. Racism, right, whatever gets you fired up. We got littering, another cool idea for how to get mean. Cat people, this is one of mine, and vegans, right? These two, and then if you actually combine for these, like a racist vegan, how awesome is that? If you can't get fired up thinking about racist vegans, I actually don't know what's gonna do it for you. Take your time, right? It's only 8 minutes, but within that 8 minutes, right, there's a story being told, and we don't want that story being told to just be sadness as you stand around and miss cleans or miss handstand push-ups. So this week, for the first time ever, actually ran through the workout completely before I went through the notes. And the reason why is because I actually watched somebody do it this evening, and it went way different than I thought. One of our handstand push-up specialists here at the gym went after it, and some interesting things happened. So based on my post-workout thoughts, I want to add a few more things. So one of those is your hands, width and distance from the wall. And what we're looking at with that line is going to dictate, right, how high we need to get. So how wide my hands are going to change how high my feet get up the wall. So that thumbs together, elbows locked thing is really going to set us up for failure if our hands are too wide or if they're too far from the wall, right? That toes to the wall piece really set us up for a very challenging standard, which I really, really dig. Now, feet together, and I'll show you something in a second that will help you understand that a little bit better. Active shoulders, yes, during the workout. No, during the setup. Now, if we go over those rules for toes against the wall, hands on the wall, thumbs touching, elbows locked, right? I can have active shoulders or shoulders down and back. Think yoga, right? Now, during that setup, we want every little bit of stuff in our favor we can possibly get. So I say no during the setup. During the workout, oh, hell yeah, activate those shoulders. Make sure we're not getting no reps by not getting those heels over the line. So, in terms of feet together, something that I found really helpful is this idea, right? If you've ever watched anybody do any framing, you'll see this happen. Carpenters use this tool a lot. So if I think of this as the length of my leg from my hip, right, to my foot, and then I just use this to trace a line, just like that, right? Look at the difference in the height of my feet, right? We're gonna say that this is my line. just by having my feet splayed is gonna make this the difference between a good rep and a bad rep, right? So we see people, their legs start to straddle through that movement. Keep those feet together. It's gonna save you a lot of stress on that no rep. So 15.4 handstand push-ups and power cleans, or for the skilled folks, push press, and I actually don't know what the other movement was, probably push-ups, which are awesome too. So Kip, if you're doing those handstand push-ups, safety centric, protect that neck, and take your time, short breaks, have fun. All right, so we got through most of the notes, but now here's the extra little things that are gonna make you go from a 146 to 149 score to like a 161-ish score. So, difference makers. A lot of folks have plywood or some other hard surface up in their gym to help with, foot marks on the wall. I think a nice mirror finish stainless steel is really a difference maker in your handstand push-ups. And the other thing, so come on down here. How thick are your mats? A lot of people use an ab mat. I'm talking about 3 to 4 inches of serious foam. I'm talking memory foam. If you can't fall down and collapse after this workout and just go right to sleep and get some of the best rest you've ever had, then your handstand push-up pad is not thick enough. And last, and this is the most important thing, plate selection. I know a lot of folks are gonna get like a 45 or a 55-pound plate or maybe a 25-kilo plate. Do not do that. Use the green ones, the 25s or the 10-kilo plates. And the reason is, the plates are lighter. You're still gonna load up to get to 185 pounds, but use the smaller plates because they weigh less, and I think you'll be able to do more reps. Yeah, so stainless steel, thick ass pad, use the small plates. In fact, if I had enough change plates, I'd load the whole thing up with just with change plates like all the way out, but we don't have enough of that, so have fun with 15.4.
Oh my god.
I'm like, why do these feel so shitty? Like, it's hard, but I mean, it's extra hard.